My name is Clara Moreau. I am 22 years old, and I come from Lyon. I have long brown hair and green eyes. My family was poor, and I always dreamed of a better life. I wanted nice clothes and a big house. Money was the most important thing to me at that time. I met Jacques Dubois at a party in Paris. He was 50 years old and very rich. He owned many shops in the city. His eyes were kind, but tired. He fell in love with me right away. I saw my chance for the life I wanted. He asked me to marry him after 3 months. I said yes, without thinking about love. The wedding was big and expensive. All his rich friends came to see us. I wore a beautiful white dress that cost more than my father made in a year. We moved to his big house near the Seine River. The house had 10 rooms and a garden. I had everything I dreamed of, but I felt empty inside. He loved me, but I did not love him back. He was always kind to me. He bought me jewelry and pretty dresses. He took me to fancy restaurants. I smiled and said thank you, but my heart was cold toward him. I only cared about his money and what it could buy. After 6 months, I was pregnant. He was so happy when I told him. He kissed my hands and cried with joy. I felt nothing special about it. The baby was just another part of my plan for a comfortable life. Our daughter Marie was born in spring. She had his dark eyes and my brown hair. He held her like she was made of glass. I looked at them both and still felt nothing. My heart seemed frozen solid inside my chest. He worked long hours to give us everything. He came home tired, but always smiled at us. He played with Marie every evening. I watched them from across the room. Sometimes I wondered what was wrong with me. When Marie was 2 years old, I met Antoine at the market. He was young and handsome like me. He made me laugh in ways I had forgotten. My frozen heart began to feel something new. I thought this might be real love. We started meeting in secret. He kissed me in dark cafes. We walked by the river when he was at work. I felt alive for the first time in years. But I knew what I was doing was wrong. I lied to him every day. I said I was shopping or visiting friends. He never questioned me because he trusted me. His trust made me feel sick inside. But I could not stop seeing Antoine. For 3 months, I lived this double life. I was a wife and mother at home. I was a young woman in love when I was with Antoine. The lies grew bigger each day. I was scared he would find out. One afternoon, he came home early from work. He found Antoine's letter in my purse. I saw his face change as he read it. His eyes filled with pain I had never seen before. He dropped the letter and sat down hard in his chair. I tried to explain, but no words came out. He looked at me like I was a stranger. Then he looked at Marie playing on the floor. His hands were shaking as he picked her up. I knew I had broken something that could never be fixed. He did not shout or throw things. He just held our daughter and cried quietly. I had never seen a grown man cry like that. His tears made me understand how much I had hurt him. For the first time, I felt shame burn in my chest. That night, we sat in silence at dinner. Marie babbled happily between us. She did not know that her family was falling apart. He could not look at me. I could not eat anything on my plate. Later, after Marie was asleep, we talked. He asked me if I loved Antoine. I said yes, thinking honesty was better now. His face went pale when I said it. I wanted to take the words back, but it was too late. He walked to the window and stared out at the dark garden. He said he should throw me out of his house. He said I deserved nothing from him. But then he turned and looked toward Marie's room. I saw him make a decision in that moment. He came back to me with tears still in his eyes. He said he would forgive me for Marie's sake. He said we could start over if I ended things with Antoine. He said our daughter needed both her parents. I was shocked by his kindness after what I had done. I promised him I would never see Antoine again. I meant it when I said those words. He nodded and went to sleep in the guest room. I lay awake all night thinking about what he had offered me. No one had ever been so good to me before. The next morning, I ended things with Antoine. He was angry and called me names. He said I was choosing money over love. But he was wrong. I was choosing family over selfishness. I walked away from him and never looked back. The months that followed were hard for both of us. He was polite but distant with me. I tried to be a better wife and mother. We spoke only about Marie and daily things. The house felt cold despite the summer heat outside. Slowly, I began to see him differently. I watched how he played with Marie. I saw how hard he worked for our family. I noticed his gentle ways and patient heart. Something warm began to grow inside my chest, where the cold had been. I started cooking his favorite meals. I asked about his work and really listened. I thanked him for small kindnesses I had ignored before. He seemed surprised by these changes. His smiles came back little by little. One evening, Marie fell and hurt her knee. We both ran to help her. Our hands touched as we reached for her together. He looked into my eyes, and I felt something new. It was not the wild feeling I had with Antoine. It was deeper and warmer than that. I realized I was falling in love with my own husband. It was different from before, because now I knew his heart. I had seen his pain and his forgiveness. I understood what kind of man he really was. This love grew from respect and gratitude. He began to trust me again as months passed. He smiled at me like he used to. He held my hand when we walked with Marie. We talked about everything: his work, my dreams, our hopes for our daughter. I felt like I was discovering him for the first time. 2 years after that terrible day, I told him I loved him. He was reading to Marie before bedtime. I said the words quietly so she would not hear. He looked up at me with surprise and hope in his eyes. He asked if I really meant it. I nodded and felt tears on my cheeks. He set the book down and came to me. We held each other while Marie played with her toys. I felt complete for the first time in my life. We had another baby the next year, a son we named Pierre. This time, I felt the joy he had shown when Marie was born. I understood now what I had missed before. Love made everything more beautiful and meaningful. Years have passed since then. We are truly happy now in our little family. Marie is starting school, and Pierre is learning to walk. Sometimes I cannot believe this is my life. I wake up grateful every single day. I think about the young woman I used to be. She was so foolish and selfish. She almost threw away the best thing that ever happened to her. I learned that real love is not just feeling. It is choosing to care for someone every day. He still tells me he is grateful for our second chance. I tell him I am the grateful one. He saved our family when he could have destroyed it. His forgiveness taught me how to love properly. Now we have the happiness I never thought possible when I was young and foolish.